Okay, so you're trying to contact media. This is like internet media or traditional media, or what kind of media?
Yeah, more traditional media, because I've got an embeddable poll that can capture audience insights and make content. So you can end up with an infographic that might show the opinions of readers about, for example, the massacre in Orlando, and it could show a range of insights about what the public's feeling about that.
Huh. So it's something like maybe on a TV news talk show or something, that this is a polling thing that shows results of polls done instantly. Is that what?
Yep.
Yeah. Ah, cool.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, so it's an instant polling infograph kind of thing, and it's best for broadcast.
Well, probably more print, but I guess the broadcast could point people
I see.
to their online property and go from there. Yeah.
So it is.
Tends to be the digital.
Sorry.
It tends to be the digital team that manages those sort of properties.
So in other words, if ideally, then it would be the digital property of the newspaper or something like that.
Exactly. Yep.
And would that be the ideal one? I mean, newspapers and their digital, presence to enhance their, and it's really a graphic you do.
Well, first of all, you put the poll on the site where the article is. You put it within the article, and then once people respond, you create
I see.
a graphic and then share it.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's like instead of just having likes and dislikes or something like that, you get a nice graphic on what somehow that tells more about how many likes and dislikes or whatever. Would that be?
Yeah, well, it's more, it's not related to Facebook, but yeah, through the article, it's like a poll. You might see
Right.
you've probably seen online polls before.
Oh, yeah.
We match it with demographic information, so then you end up with, 80% of the people that said yes to this one, the age of 25, or, most of the people that said no, from the lower states of America and are over the age of 25. So interesting insight. Yeah.
Is there? I mean, I'm trying to think. Where's the traffic? See, to me, this may be interesting. I'm wondering if, from either the person's, like the newspaper standpoint, or even yours, that if you gave this for free but sold, ads on your widget or whatever. You know what I mean? And or if that's a way to pitch it, or that's the way you do pitch it to them, this is a new revenue source, because it's sort of like a okay, you're giving them an infographic of some kind, and that could be sponsored by somebody. The infographic versus a traditional. A traditional kind of, I don't know, a web ad or something. Now it's only on, and so that's why I'm just wondering, even would this make sense if you had polls? See, that's why another thing. I'm wondering if another way to sell this. Let's say in a local area newspaper, if you instead of went to the media but went to the car people, I don't know, somebody, and said that for the infographic could be on any story related to cars. So in other words, you brought an infographic that's already paid for by somebody else, instead of asking the money from the newspaper. Would that make any sense?
Yeah. Well, potentially it could, but the amount of sales that we would be having to do would be, I think, not logistic. So we'd be looking to tap into the sales network of the newspaper and them selling.
I see.
For the report. So, yeah.
Well, this, I mean, see.
I just wondered,
Yeah.
how do you usually approach?
Boy. There's no, it's changed since I did it a lot. I think nobody knows. I mean, to me, about marketing and anything I've been successful in marketing was following my heart, not following anything else. And it usually always came from trying something that somebody told me was a great idea and it didn't work for shit, and then but that led me to something else that I would never have thought about. And because we're all so unique, I think what works for one person won't work for another person, and things like that. And trying to use somebody else's method, I don't think it's going to be as successful as digging into your own method that's right for you. And that's why the things that interest you, you have content you're bringing, right? That, see, to me, it's sort of another way for people for them to have something to sell. I mean, it's sort of like I hear on the radio, we're going to have the Skywatch report, the weather guy or the traffic person in the helicopter, and that's brought to you by so and so. So that's what you're doing, is providing content. So they now have another vehicle to put some marketing on, to sell to somebody. See, that's like adding another page to their newspaper without them having to write anything, which sounds, more appealing, I would think, to the business side of the newspaper. Because everybody loves polling, and newspapers get, make stories. I mean, so many newspapers and everything, they go out and do polls so they can do a story on the poll. See? So maybe a way to approach them is that this widget or whatever it is, they can have story. By the end of the week, like all the stories on the killings down in Orlando, what people thought about it, and the demographics of that and everything from their readers. I mean, that's a hell of a story. And so then they're not having to go out and dig up the data or hire a polling agency to create that information, because your widget is doing that. Does that make any sense? Or what?
No, it's great. Yeah, definitely drawing some ideas from that.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
That's excellent. Yep. Well, I get that you probably picked up from the accent. I'm not from America, and I'm actually just here temporarily. So I'm just trying to make the best use of
I see.
Yeah. Is there a certain tier of media that you'd recommend? Like you mentioned, the local newspapers that
Yeah, I mean,
and going to the larger groups.
See, I would. I don't know. Newspapers seem. Well, it may be interesting newspaper because they're all going out of business and they have to figure out other ways, right? So that's why it may be interesting to them. I like Washington Post is going out of business. This is one of the biggest newspapers in the world, they can't handle it,
Yeah.
And that's why even online now there's aggregators, people, like Huffington Post kind of people. But there's billions. I mean, what I would do is look in news, maybe just Google News, and look at the big blogs that cover news a lot. Because it would be the same for them. They have another widget that can be sponsored and a source of data on the readers. Because you're also giving consumer intelligence for them. You're telling people about their customers. And who wouldn't want that? You know? So you're giving marketing data to these people besides news. So anybody now, particularly in platforms, and a lot of these platforms have money because they're all living off of venture capital. They're not making money, but other people think they will someday, so they give them a lot of money. I'm going to lose you, Karen. So give me. I'm going to write my email.
The session has ended. Please take a moment to rate this session.